So we have new audio of how horrible the Republicans are to the police officers that defended the United States when the Republicans attacked America. Now, for all those out there that say it's the big lie, it's very specifically ignoring the fact that that would have been the last election, because no one, and I mean no one that is not completely delusional, would say that Twitler would have turned over the presidency after 2 years. He would have pretended he was going to run again and then tried to find a way to completely overthrow the United States and forever shut down our democracy. So when the media says it's a big lie, they should probably say the attempted overthrow of the United States to turn us into a dictatorship, because that's what Twitter wanted. Now, the media will get to what they play in just a second, but I'd like to point out, Officer Sicknick died after he was sprayed with chemicals on January 6th by traitors to the United States and was beaten. Yes, the coroner said that he died of natural causes, but I would say that's quite the coincidence after he was beaten by traitors and sprayed with chemicals. So watch this.
So I was trying to convey to everybody I know, because they're not inside here, what is happening inside here. And that's when I went on television too. I said, I talked to the president. I wanted, and then
the mother of Officer Brian Sicknick, who died of natural causes a day after the attack, was also in the meeting and asked McCarthy why then President Trump didn't call off the mob.
He knew what was going on. He knew they were fighting for hours and hours and hours. You know, it just, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm just telling you from my phone call, I don't know that he did know that at that point.
In another exchange, Fanone challenges McCarthy when the Republican leader urges against politicizing January 6th.
If we don't handle it in a political way, I don't believe it happens.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, treat it like politics, then it just goes.
Listen, Kevin, I agree with you. The problem is, it is political, because it happened here on Capitol Hill, and it involved a political movement. It involved a group of extremist, right-wing element of our, American society, which was mobilized by politicians. And that's just a fact.
In a separate meeting with Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, Fanone described the assault officers faced. And Fanone writes Graham responded, "You guys should have shot them all in the head."
We have much work yet to do.
Fanone's revelations come as the House January 6 Select Committee prepares to return to the spotlight this week following a summer of behind-the-scenes investigating and seeking more records from the U.S. Secret Service about missing January 6th text messages.
We've received a huge amount of documents from the Secret Service and have learned some additional things. So we plan to present what we found out working through this summer. I think it will shed some light on the events of the day and the events leading up to it.
The House January 6 committee has just weeks remaining to finish its work and issue its final report. Neither Congressman McCarthy nor Senator Graham returned requests for comment from CBS News about their conversations with Officer Fanone. Gail?
Now, it's appalling that the media will allow McCarthy on national TV without asking why he lied to the officers that were attacked while trying to defend the United States. He lied to the officers and tried to silence them for political gain. McCarthy is a weak and spineless, proven by the tape. How about what a former Republican? Now, this person we shouldn't listen to all that much because he is a former Republican. He built this traitorous party that Twitler took over. And now he wants credit for saying the most obvious thing, that McCarthy is weak and pathetic. Take this video.
And you know who had a glimpse into the reality that Officer Fanone and his colleagues were facing in that moment? The entire country. We all watched this live, and you could see the violence playing out, whether you were inside the halls or just seeing camera footage of those storming the Capitol. Donald Trump knew it. Kevin McCarthy knew it. Everybody knew it. And Nicole, occasionally, very rarely, does the country get to see the raw smarm of Kevin McCarthy, someone who very likely might be the next Speaker of the House. And this is one of those moments. Look, if the truth does not fit his political interest, he denies the truth, he covers it up, he lies, and you see the smarm start to come out. We've seen it privately. Rarely do you get introduced to it. Look, what I would expect is if Kevin McCarthy's pushed on this, he'll bristle. He'll blame Democrats. He'll name check Nancy Pelosi and probably Barack Obama because it's currency for him. He'll blame check or name check Joe Biden. He'll go on Hannity for cover, and then he'll make sure all is good with Donald Trump. But the sickening part, I think, is what you're getting at with the question. The context of this was during an insurrection of the U.S. Capitol when officers who were there to defend Kevin McCarthy himself were being beaten. And Kevin McCarthy did not have the audacity, nor the courage, nor the integrity to actually be honest with Officer Fanone and his colleagues.
A GOP representative, David Jolly, pathetic Republican, gets to go on national television after he helped build this traitor's party. Finally, he says something about it. He doesn't have the courage to say the truth when he could have made a difference. But Nicole Wallace will bring him on. But will she hold McCarthy to account? She calls him disgraceful today, but she won't bring this up the next time she repeats his lies. Check out this video.
A lot of politicians, including McCarthy, do what they say they need to, they say what they need to say to get through situations, whether it's true or not. I mean, listen, Nicole.
Can I stop you there? I mean, where, I mean, they say what they need to say to get through situations. Where does that leave us, in your opinion?
Well, it leaves us. That's a really good question. That was what I was about to get into. I mean, we're 29 days ahead of the November election. If you are a bear on Republicans, you believe at least they have a 50 to 60% chance of taking back the House. And McCarthy in that situation would almost definitely be Speaker. And I think the spotlight is obviously going to come on McCarthy a lot more in the weeks and months after the election, when we as a country, I think, when the broader American public needs to understand who the person third in line to the president of the United States is. I expect that kind of coverage will start soon. I mean, a lot of people have written a lot of words about Kevin McCarthy, but I think broadly the American people don't really know who he is. And I think that his story around January 6th will be something that people zoom into.
Republicans have a chance to win the House because people like her don't inform the public. She lied for the Republicans while she worked for and now she has no clue what is going on or how to help the situation. Now she brings on people like David Jolly, former Republican, to soft pedal Republican traitors. Now, what do we hear from Graham on the tape? Graham blames the police officers and covers for the rioters, saying they should have just shot them in the head, says he would support outing Twitler, and now he is trying to get him off the hook for trying to overthrow the United States and prevent him from any criminal prosecution. What does Lindsey Graham say? He defends his prediction of riots in the streets if Trump is brought up on prosecution for the crimes he's did. He releases such statements that read in part as this: "We owe a great debt of gratitude and appreciation to the Capitol police officers who bravely risked their lives to protect the Capitol. They were placed in a terrible position without adequate reinforcements, but did their best to protect the overwhelmed Capitol." Finally, President Biden and Vice President Harris' speeches today were an effort to resurrect a failed presidency more than marking the anniversary of a dark day in American history. Their brazen attempt to use the January 6th to support the radical election reform and change the rules of the Senate to accomplish this goal will not succeed. The so-called Voting Rights Act they are pushing are a liberal Democrat federal takeover of election systems which constitutionally reside with the states. This absurdity should make Graham someone that no one listens to but the pathetic people like Nicole Wallace, former Republicans that are dotted all over the most liberal network, so-called MSNBC, will protect them by pretending every single time they get on national television that we should discuss the lies they are spewing. Remember, Graham is the one that's putting out a national abortion ban and saying, quite rightly, if Republicans get control again, they will pass this. If Republicans get control of the House, they will impeach Biden and every single member of the cabinet for any delusional conspiracy theory that they have. It's absurd that people like Jolly get to go on national television where there are people decades ago that told the truth of this traitorous Republican Party, and they are still silenced today. MSNBC is not really interested in informing you of what's going on. They're interested in making money, and that's it. So if you like those videos, please help. The YouTube algorithm is horribly biased against, progressives. And the Republicans have massive amounts of money just to buy it off. So every time you like, every time you put a comment down below, helps us out. So like, subscribe, and if you really want to help the environment, down below is a link to a GoFundMe page where it has a brand new power generation that is 0% carbon emission and one of the cheapest productions of electricity the world has ever had. So go down, help us out.